and we pick it up here in kind of an Autocad drawing that we're going to now make some blocks of, and then go into Inventor. This again is for those of you, and many we are, who really don't quite, we're not quite understanding how to control the Inventor environment when it comes in terms of being exact. So I'm going to finish out this gusset plate now by actually changing these two things to the correct layer, which for now we're calling layer 0, and then doing a p-edit. Grab that one, yes, J for join, 1, 2, 3, and then finally saying close, as we're apt to do. And now we have 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 pieces, and I'm just going to do right blocks out actually on 3 of the pieces. Before I'm done with that, what I want to do is at least establish a couple of points here, and so I'm going to put in a point at the dot y of the end of this and the dot x of near to this. And so, and a z of 0, so that stuck a point here. And we're going to try to keep that point around and put it back as we make each of these blocks. My hope is that if each of these blocks has that point there, we can bring everything back basically where it needs to be. But we'll also put one more point right up here. So we're going to put a point, shift right click, midpoint between, shift right click the end point there, shift right click the end point there, and there we've got a second point there. And so for all intents and purposes, we're going to put a quick circle here. Node, you remember, is how points are the only things with the node. We're going to put a circle node of here, so we've got a couple here. We've got a couple of points that are going to mean something to us. We now remember that we do blocks inside of drawings by doing a -b, and in each case I'm going to include those 2 points for each of my blocks and then keep putting them back. -b is how we make a block. The first one I guess I'll call gusset. Insertion base point will be, in this case I'll make that insertion base point, shift right click the center of that there, and we're going to select our objects there, and then window, we're going to grab that point. So we've got 2 points, and there they go, they're gone. And we can, many times you can do something like oops, oops. And when you do oops, you can realize that the block is still made. So we made the block. So we can kind of bring back that block even though we still have it. We've made one block, we'll make the next one. We'll make it the same insertion point, -b. We're going to call this the slanted, too late to know the name, slanted, and we're going to, insertion base point is going to be the center. Okay, we're going to select our objects that, and we'll go with 2 points, this point here and here, and here and here, and we can say now oops again. So we, once again, by saying block, we can see that we have made 2 blocks in this drawing. And we'll make finally a third block, which was going to be the kind of the horizontal. I'm going to call it horizontal, -b for block. Block name horizontal. And the insertion base point is the center here. And then grab our objects here, window, here to here. We now have, once again, we can say oops. Now, because of the fact that this general layout here is in a drawing that was just Civil 3D, I'm going to do actually something that we might or might not want to do. I'm going to go ahead and write out a new block that includes those 3 blocks. A new block that includes those 3 blocks. So I'm going to do that in the end. And that's only because I'm in Civil 3D here. I'm going to do that in the end by go ahead and I'm going to erase most of this stuff out. Erase that and that and that and that and that. Right? I'm going to erase this one here. Erase this one and this one. And erase even this one and leave just that point. Now I can show you how you, of course, you can bring back blocks to the right spot. We can do this. We can say insert, and we're going to grab the first one, and the first one is going to be gusset. And where are we going to bring it? We are going to specify the point. The point is going to be shift right click the node there. Shift right click the node. And we can once again say, we can say insert. Again, this is only because we're going to say the slanted. We're going to specify where. Same thing, shift right click the node. And then we're going to say insert, and this time it's going to be the horizontal. Same thing, specify where, shift right click the node. Now these are each 3 blocks. That's all we're going to send out at this point in time. We're going to do a minus. We're going to do a W block, I guess it is, a W block, which is going to write out of the drawing. Again, you don't need to do this extensively, but we're trying to really clean up some of the Civil 3D because we're on the machine I'm at home. W block. We're going to grab our objects. We're going to select our objects. They're right here. Grab them all. We're going to give it a base point. The base point, of course, is the node of that. We're going to know where we're putting it, and I guess in this case it works for me to put it, I'm going to put it all the way up to the K drive. I'll be able to find it there, hopefully. I'm going to go up 1. You got to know where stuff is in the K drive, and I'm going to call this my Inventor try. Inventor try. Right. Sometimes you might want to save back. Always be aware sometimes saving back is good. We've gone and done all these things. We've got a base point which we picked. We're not that concerned about anything else, and in the end the insertion units should be inches, we hope. Send them all out. Hit OK. And we don't want to put that information out there. We hope that it sends all those through and you're kind of okay. I'm still going to file save as right now so I know where that's at. And I'm just going to call this my base Inventor. Now that's a lot of steps because I'm in a home machine trying to avoid Civil 3D, but I've kind of drafted it. I have not put the holes in, and I want you to kind of try to do this then in Inventor. So that are the steps that you might or might not remember from blocks is this. Blocks should be on layer 0. You should put them, unless there's another reason, you should use -B to define them, and -B makes a block in a drawing. W block writes the block out. Be very aware then of how you control them when you bring them in. Remember, you can use attributes. And one mistake I know I made here, and I'm going to kind of come back later and fix it and show you the demonstration, is I did not dimension those blocks. So I'm going to show you the first time as I go through. Since I did not dimension the blocks, this time I'm going to show you both ways. And I can now dimension those blocks before I write them out again the second time by saying B-edit. I go into B-edit, I can go to gusset, hit that there, and I can now have a gusset plate there, which I can now dimension. These are actually constraints here, but we can do dim horizontal, and I can just hit here and grab that there. That's a dimension. Same thing there, and I think dim vertical. We've got 2 dimensions there. Now in all reality it's probably going to be useful eventually to dimension off of that point there, but once we go hit that, we can say close block editor. We can save our changes, and we've done that in. It came back and it actually fixed it here in the drawing. I can now do once again B-edit. This time I will go to the horizontal, okay, and once again right click in any toolbar, brings up a set of toolbars. We can go to your dimension. You have to be aware of whether or not your dimensioning is going to be, correct aligned or correct horizontal, but I can once again pick that one, space, dimension that, space bar, dimension that, and once again close block editor, save the changes. All right, I'm going to save the changes, and now finally do the same with this last one, which is again B-edit. That's block edit, that is the slanted. Hit OK, and this time we're going to actually have to dimension align, spacebar, grab that one, dimension align, spacebar, grab that one. And we've essentially done now close block editor, save the changes to slanted. And now if in fact we have these 3 blocks again, now we can once again do a W block, and I'll show you the difference as they come into Inventor. Alright, that's 2 sets of blocks, one dimension, the other one not dimensioned. The next thing we'll be doing is putting them out in Inventor.